Good morning, everybody. This is the Personal Playlist Podcast, fondly referred to as the P3 on Voice Ed Radio. I'm Noah Daniel.
Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand.
I am so excited to have Madison Prinzen here on the 40th Personal Playlist Podcast recording. Madison is a recent graduate from Lakehead University in Orillia. She has worked with the Kids Guide to Canada and interns for the Digital Human Library. For MADPD, in May, she presented on learning about technology tools that foster virtual connection. Madison is passionately engaged in pursuing her dream career in education. She loves to teach, inspire, and build relationships with others and many aspects of the community. She helps students understand that mistakes help us learn, and we're better together. She wants to build thinking classrooms full of confident, creative change makers, empowering 21st century students to be risk takers with empathy, flexibility, and those who find courage to be the best they can be. She believes that students can do anything, and she wants to help them do that too through moonshot thinking. Madi is here, guided by a relentless focus. Hello, Madison Prinzen.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, I'm really happy that you could be here.
I'm really happy that I could be here.
Yeah, it's not always an easy thing to do to coordinate times, but this is a wonderful way to celebrate you. And you just graduated, so this can be your graduation present from me.
Yay, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Tell me a little bit about your MADPD experience, because it was great. One of the things I loved about it is that you modeled the reality of tech when you had a tech challenge, even at the beginning, and you just kind of rolled with it and then went on to engage in your audience and in your presentation, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, so I learned about MADPD mostly through my connections with Voice Ed Radio, and it was very exciting. I kind of signed up for it not quite knowing what it was going to be about, and then along the way I got all of these emails saying, this is what you need to do, and I just followed the instructions, and then time came to creating my SlideShare and actually like narrowing down my topic. And oh my goodness, I was terrified. I have never, ever been involved in something like this before. And I had never even watched it last year. So I had no idea what to expect. And so I did a little bit of research about the other years and what had gone on and what I should expect from it. And I collaborated with some of my professors who did it. And we kind of discussed a direction, and then, came the time, and I was terrified. All Sunday morning, I was like sitting at home looking over my SlideShare, making sure everything was okay, and I was like, what if nobody learns anything from this? And I was so nervous, and then I did it, and then I had two of my professors from university there, which was very special for me because I had their support, and they so badly wanted to be a part of it. And I was so nervous that I didn't really want anybody to watch me right now. I didn't know how it was going to go. So it was really special that they got to be a part of it with me. And then we had the after party, and they all thought it was wonderful that I was involved because I was so young and so new at this. And that was really special because I'd been so nervous all day. And then they were like, no, stop. That's not, don't think about it that way. You did such an amazing job. And it was really special. So I loved it. It was very fun. I'm signed up for the MADPD throughout the year.
The Spotlight Series. Yeah.
Yes, way in March.
Yeah. Wonderful. And it was so nice to see Helen Dward there. I guess she was one of your professors. And she's been on the show, and we actually established that one night on Ed Mentors.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really nice of her to join me in that.
One of the best parts about the MADPD experience, and Peter and Derek and I go way back, we were actually on Ed Chat together. That's how we first met. We are part of a team.
Aww.
And watching them create this and having it evolve, in the same way that you were saying, you were nervous and you're new. It levels the playing field because the playing field is level. There's no real hierarchy in knowledge. Mm-hmm. So different people bring different things to the table. And if we really do create a system where we have, the opportunities to empower people and let people grow from their strengths and share what they can do and learn from each other, then that's the kind of world that we want to create for everybody, for our learners. And in many ways, something that you said in your MADPD session about geography not being a barrier, and I know it was in reference to the Digital Human Library, but it was true about MADPD. I mean, this was an international endeavor that any people could access then. They can access any one of the videos now. And watching everybody's videos and having the time to really process that thing that makes a difference in people's lives, there's a nugget from every single person's presentation. And I really just, I admire them for creating it. And I love that Stephen wanted to extend the experience with the Spotlight series. And it's funny, actually, when he was recording me last week, I was a different self, and I really enjoyed the experience. Anyhow, here on this experience, the goal is to bring 3 songs. One that's nostalgic, one that reflects your identity, and one that's a personal motivator, picks you up, lifts you up, makes you joyful. And you brought me 3 songs. So tell me a little bit about the process of getting that here.
Oh boy. Okay, so I first watched Sarah Lalonde's episode on your playlist, on this playlist, and she picked some songs that resonate with me a lot. And then I was kind of like, oh no, I want those songs. I don't know how I'm supposed to pick songs like that. So, yeah, I just mulled it over. I thought about it. And, I feel like I found a few. One of them's a fairly new song that I really loved. It comes from a movie, and I really, really loved the movie.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was good. It was quite the process. I narrowed it down to a few good ones, I think.
Well, okay, so let's begin with your nostalgic song. And I love that you said has nostalgic value in your descriptor, because it's true. Like, every person can start at some place in time, and you chose something so magical and beautiful. So why don't you explain your nostalgic song choice and how this version of the song speaks to you?
Sure. So this song was actually our first dance song in my wedding. I got married about 3 years ago now, and in July it'll be 3 years. And it has some great nostalgic value, pretty straightforward because it was a Roman wedding, but also because I live a little bit of a fairy tale. I married my very best friend, who I have known forever. We grew up together throughout childhood and teenager years, everything. We've known each other through it all. And he is the greatest blessing of my life, and he is my absolute rock. And so it always kind of holds a special place in my heart. It was that one moment where it was probably the first moment in our wedding where it felt like just us, because, like, you understand, wedding days are very busy. There's things happening all around you. There's so many people there, and you have to talk to everybody, and which is all fine. But then you get that special moment, just the two of you, and that will always, always be one of my greatest memories. So this was this song that we did that too.
That is very beautiful. Do you listen to the song? Have you listened to it since?
Often. Yeah.
Because that's your fairy tale life.
I just I kind of stumbled upon it. I was looking, just Googling, good wedding songs, and I liked some of the classics, but I kind of wanted something different, and I can't remember exactly how I found it. I think it just came up, and I listened to it and was like, oh my goodness, this is the sweetest thing. So that's how I found it.
It turns out, and thank you for introducing it to me, it turns out like people are really into the song for weddings, and it was even featured in People magazine. So It seems to be something to speak to people. So let's hear it.
This is my love song to you. Let every woman know I'm yours, so you can fall asleep each night, babe, and know I'm dreaming of you more. Hoping that we make it. You always want to keep my gaze, but you're the only one I see, love, and that's the one thing that won't change. I will never stop trying. I will never stop watching as you leave. I will never stop losing my breath every time I see you looking back at me. And I will never stop holding your hand. I will never stop opening your door. I will never stop choosing you, babe. I will never get used to you. not a momentary phase. You are my life, I don't deserve you, but you love me just the same. And as the mirror says we're older, I will not look the other way. You are my life, my love, my only, and that's the one thing that won't change. I will never stop trying, I will never stop watching as you leave. I will never stop losing my breath every time I see you looking back at me. And I will never stop holding your hand, I will never stop opening your door. I will never stop choosing you, babe. I will never get used to you. Still get my heart racing, you still get my heart racing for you. Still get my heart racing, you still get my heart racing for you. I will never stop trying, I will never stop watching as you leave. I will never stop losing my breath.
And you know that song, like it has so many good lyrics in it, and it holds true for a long time. Like, for instance, like, we have never stopped trying. And honestly, I got married at 19 years old, and some people think that's so young, and I hear it all, but it is the most fun to grow up together. And I love that. And I mean, he's never stopped opening my door, and he, still gets my heart racing pretty much all the time. So I love that song. It still holds true now. 3 years later, hopefully it will. 10 years later, we'll see.
Of course it will. And you guys just bought a house. Like,
Exactly.
This is so exciting.
It's so exciting.
Okay. So, wow. I really love that song.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So your identity, I had never heard this song, but I swear, like, the
Really?
second I never, but it channeled like Tom Petty's American Girl for me, because so many of the examples in here, but they're just like so distinctly our nation. So tell me a little bit about your identity song and why you chose that one.
Yeah. So I grew up in a household that loved hockey, and my dad always played hockey. And I have one older brother. He's 1 year older than me, and we have a wonderful relationship. And when he was younger, they put him in hockey, and it didn't really go for him. They put me in figure skating and him in hockey, and he was the type of kid that would spin around in circles in the middle of the ice. He didn't love the concept of hockey, and I did figure skating, and I came off one day just bawling, and I was like, Mom, I don't understand what I need to do. So then they were like, I don't even know what to do. So they put me in hockey, and my first day in hockey, I looked at it and came off and went, oh, puck, net, great. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do here. So I played rep hockey for 13 years. I did a lot of sports. I did hockey course at school. I played school hockey. I did, you name it, I did it. I love hockey. It's a huge part of my life. So this song is, the first line of it says she grew up watching hockey with her daddy on Saturday nights, and he taught her how to tie her skates. So that was exactly my life growing up. That was like to a T exactly what I did with my dad. And it wasn't just Saturday nights. It was probably every night, to be realistic. And he taught me how to tie my skates up until the point where it became like I didn't want to tie my own skates as a teenager because he tied them so well. So I remember one point I went on a school trip in like grade 7 or 8, and I didn't want to tie my own skates because I never had. And so I made him come as a parent volunteer and tie my skates out in the entryway in front of everyone. It was quite something, but that's something special I have with him, right? It's part of our father-daughter relationship is having that hockey connection. So it's been really special. And the other lyrics, snowboarding, spending summers on the boat, all of those things hold true to me. And I don't know that I would have naturally called myself a Canadian girl before. But this song, a lot of the lyrics, I look at it and go, you know what? Maybe I am. I'm really grateful that I live here, and a lot of those things describe me. So that's a little bit of my identity song.
Amazing. The lyrics are fantastic also. And it's so nice to hear your story with your dad. But when I first was looking at it, it says you can look sexy in a toque. I'm like, only a Canadian would smile at that. And then there's that other line
Yes.
about she won't admit she watched Degrassi. I thought that
Yes,
was so
I
funny.
did watch Degrassi. Oh,
Okay, well, I know that you love your country and take pride in our nationality, but I want to share the song with everybody so that they can hear it too.
She grew up watching hockey with her daddy on Saturday nights. He taught her how to tire skates. Her brothers taught her how to fight. She can wear high heels or flannel. She can look sexy in a toque. She likes snowstorms and Gordon Lightfoot. And if you're lucky, she'll love you. Canadian girls, Canadian girls, irresistible, lovable, trouble. Though sometimes, girls, we can travel the world, from New York to Paris, France, but we're always gonna come back. Canadian girls, baby, she likes to snowboard and spend her summers out on a boat. Thinks a perfect night out is a cabin, smell of coffee on an old wood stove. And she won't admit that she watched Degrassi. She's proud, she's sometimes quiet. A true north, a national treasure. She'd give her life for a red and a white. Canadian girls, Canadian girls, irresistible, lovable, trouble. Though sometimes, girls, we can travel the world, from New York to Paris, France, but we're always gonna come back. Canadian girls.
Canadian Girl by Dean Brody. What a great song. I do a national identity unit. Last year I called it Canada 150. And
Mhm.
I think in grade 7 I could absolutely use this song to add to the playlist
Mhm.
of songs that tell our story and to have the kids analyze it. So cool.
Yeah, they nailed some pretty specific descriptors of Canadian girls. I'll tell you that much. They got a few of them in there.
It's funny because the country's so vast and so different, and yet I think I think it does capture an
Yeah.
essence that not everybody has, but there is something to it for sure.
There is something I think that everyone could relate to, if not, find something to relate to.
If not can relate to. And I think that that's actually a really good transition to the song you call a personal motivator. So this film, besides being the one film I bought this year, except we're waiting for Avengers, but my daughters and I have watched and sung the songs from the soundtrack 1,000 times.
Mhm.
And this song is dreamy. Why
Mhm.
is it your personal motivator?
Yeah, so I loved this movie, and I know that there were some people who didn't like it so much. It was a little bit controversial. Oh my goodness, I loved it. I don't know if it was the fact that we're educators and we live this life of, inclusiveness and diversity and accepting differences, because I watched it with my mom and she's a wonderful educator, and we both just bawled the first time. And it's such a beautiful story that comes around full circle, but they do it in such a way that it's so creative. The whole storyline, I loved it. It was beautiful. So this song is called A Million Dreams, and I chose it because something that is special about me, and I think it makes me a little bit different, is I am 100% a dreamer. And when I was thinking about what I was going to say about this, I usually say that I'm a dreamer in interviews, and I'll use it as my strength and my weakness. because it's a strength, because I have these really good ideas and I like to reach really, really high. But sometimes that's not the most practical. And sometimes I try to reach too high. So sometimes I need to be brought back down. And that's also totally okay. But I dream about anything and everything. And I just like reaching really high. And that's, you said in my description, moonshot thinkers. I like to encourage moonshot thinkers. And I do, because I think it's so important. And when I had a chat with Sarah Lalonde on her podcast on Voice Ed Radio, we were talking about this. And the reason I think it's so important now is because we live in a society where we now have a new technology where everything is accessible. And when you think about preparing students for jobs of the future, we don't even know what the jobs of the future is going to look like. And if we don't have students think outside the box and reach really high, then we're not going to have any creators or innovators. Like, they need to be able to think differently, and they need to be able to generate new ideas. And so reaching high, you know what? It might not be unrealistic. I think we should be encouraging them to reach high, but sometimes I do need to be brought down.
No, but P.T. Barnum is that really good example of that. And the Hugh Jackman character and this song that he sings with Michelle Williams, it just reminds you that what some people think is crazy and ludicrous, driven by the right person in the most tenacious and creative ways, can become epic.
Right. And I watched a podcast, that talked about how dreaming actually is what moves you forward. If you're not thinking about something new, then you're standing still. When you're dreaming, you're moving forward. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, his story and doing something that wasn't, easy. It wasn't a natural idea. He went outside of the box and he did something that was totally new and totally different, and it didn't work out the first time, and he kept trying. So
I think that there are naysayers who will tell you to stop dreaming, but I really don't think you should say that that's your downside, because you just proved that it's your upside and it's your upswing and it's your personal motivator. So let's play the song that drives you and reminds you that a million dreams are always worthwhile.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
You know what? There's a difference between being a dreamer in a flaky and tapped out way and being a dreamer and a doer. And some of the greatest creators in history were that latter point. And it's about dreaming into action, and it's about making mistakes and dusting yourself off and persevering and being able to, just like Elena said on last week's podcast, have grit and kind of bear down and handle the things that life throws at you, because that will build your character and it will build your determination to see your dreams come to life.
It's true. I don't feel like dreamers are encouraged enough in this society. And I really appreciated you saying, don't think about it as a downfall, because it's sometimes people do see it as a downfall. And you know what? That's not the way that it should be, right? We should be able to dream and reach for the stars. Yeah, I love listening to that song over again. Another reason I chose it is because I'm still a new teacher, and I'm still walking into this new career that I haven't fully experienced yet for myself. And the line saying, they can say it all sounds crazy, and they can say I've lost my mind, and I don't care, and it's a world that we design. It's all new to me. And some people say that, you know, it is crazy, or they say, you know, the first year is the worst, and it's just, you'll make it through. And I'm like, you know what though? I'm so excited to be entering this career. And, you know, my mom was a wonderful educator, and I have a great amount of people surrounding me that are going to be able to help me when I need it. And, you know, I love this song because it reminds me that this is what I make it, and I can dream and I can achieve it. So it's really special to me. I also love the line, every night I lie in bed and the brightest colors fill my head, because that's literally what happens every night. I can never go to sleep because I'm thinking about everything. I don't know if that's dreaming or just a woman thing, but I know a lot of people do it.
I know, but everybody does it in their own special way. And you are going to meet people who will tell you that being a dreamer is an Achilles heel to you. And you're going to shut them out, because I let them in, and it stopped me sometimes. And I'm better now because I kind of listen. And what I've learned to do is feel sad for them as opposed to feel yucky about myself. So in an interview, I would offer only those things about you. It's good to be reflective, but you don't want to give people a reason to see something that they're going to misunderstand if they're not the kind of person that's open enough and that's free enough, I think, to get that what we're doing in the classroom has to be true for the people who are doing it in the classroom. So all this great stuff about empowering learners and letting them co-create and be autonomous and self-directed. And then you have these adults telling you to stop being so self-directed.
Right.
So we're all working together for change. And I know that you're part of it. I love that you're on the On End Mentors team. I'm sure we'll hear lots more from you and about you over the years. But if you want to get in touch with Madison, you can catch her on Twitter at Madison Prinzen. The blog that comes out Tuesday, I'll have your information on MADPD, and anything else you want to send me to link to. I'll also add it to the Sarah Lalonde podcast, so there'll be a link to that. I want to thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed being on the show.
Oh, it was a blast. Thank you for having me here. I want to do it again.
That's what Derek keeps asking when he can have his second P3. But listen, the story of your quote from Katherine Jeffers in your MADPD, an empowered student learns on their own, an empowered person learns on their own, and they keep learning. And I'm excited to keep learning with you. And thank you so much for coming on the Personal Playlist podcast. Is there anything you want to say before I play you out?
Oh, you know what? Well, now that you've encouraged me, I would just love to encourage other people to keep on dreaming. You know, it's worth it. Reach for those stars. Okay,
thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the P3, the Personal Playlist podcast. I'm Noah Daniel. This is Voice Ed Radio, and I hope you have a fantastic day.